Hello, everyone. Taser2 here, and welcome back to the Lads Podcast. I'm your host, and I'm your host, Taylor, and here is my co-host, Jerry Miller.
Hello.
And also, we have a guest on today. We have Charles Teague.
Going on? I'm Charlie Teague, or you can call me Charlie Baby.
He makes music on SoundCloud. I guess you would call it like an emo, like hip hop or rap?
Yeah, something like that, like emo rap, underground rap, any of those terms.
Well, it's great to have you on. Uh, I always talk like content creation stuff with you a lot, and
hmm
I'm not super into music, but I do kind of like talking about music. So we that's kind of what we're like so all the time. So tell people about like your music.
All right. Well, first of all, I thank both of you for having me on here today. It is definitely a pleasure to be able to speak with the both of you and speak with other people. Um, so I started making music. I started playing music about 6 years ago. I picked up the guitar. And then just throughout the years, I started playing piano. I fiddled with drums, and now I'm here making beats and doing vocals. And of course, I still incorporate guitar or piano into some of my beats, and I still have an appreciation for um, solely guitar, drum driven music, if that makes sense.
Yeah, driven music. I do like that a lot. And like when I'm listening to music, I can usually tell when it's not some like like stuff that someone else made, like just like a beat that you just play and something you actually write. Now,
Yeah.
I've heard the music. Have you, Jerry? Have you listened to his
I've
music?
listened to a few of his songs, and it's not quite my style of music. I'll say that, but for what it is really good music. I'll give him that.
All right. Well,
Um,
thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, my favorite one is probably it's either Thinking About Myself or Lost. Those two are both good. So your two most recent releases?
Yeah. Thinking about myself, I think I actually have it pulled up here because I'm always checking my stats. Um, yeah, I recorded about thinking about myself 2 months ago, and then Lost I recorded about 3 weeks ago. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
I think
yeah,
those are your best works so far. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see more.
yeah. It's actually funny that you mentioned that because I do have a lot of songs being recorded right now, and I have an upcoming album that I'm gonna release probably in about 2 weeks. I just have to uh, record about one or two more songs, and it'll be ready to go. I already got all the cover art, um, so I just gotta go finish recording.
Yeah, that's great. I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, I'll let you know. And I'm pretty excited. It's my first album.
Yeah.
Um, it's about 10 or 11 tracks,
Oh,
and
that's
then
great.
and right after that, I'm gonna drop a song that I did with this kid named Kid Blunt. He's from Arizona. I did a little feature in a song with him.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. How do you do that? Did you do it over the air or because
Um,
I did this podcast over the air, but making music is a lot different.
yeah, it's kind of similar to that. What he does is he made the beat. He already has something in mind.
Oh, okay.
Um, so he made the beat and he did all his singing parts. However, he does them.
Oh, so you're
Um,
like cut them together.
yeah. So then I
Okay.
went to the studio and I had my little time signature. Like if he wanted me to start at 2 minutes and go until 2 minutes 50 seconds, I would just record in that session of time, and that's what I did. And then I sent it back to him. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering how different those are because keeping your audio the same is important.
All
So
right.
so we're talking about music production. Uh, so I'm not super into music like, but I listen to music a lot. Like usually I have an ear, like whenever I'm walking around, you can see me. I always have my earbud in my ear.
This
So
is true. This is true.
yeah. So so music means something to me as something that's like it's always there, but it's not like something that I'm really like into, you know.
No,
So
you're not passionate about it. Like
right. I'm
it's just
curious,
something to pass the time.
right. So I'm curious as to like like that impact, you know?
I mean, I think this applies to all different types of art, whether it be visual, artistic, drawing art, or audio art, which music, or literary art, like books. I think art, just in general, means an escape from reality, but it also allows you to make a point. So, like, the reason I make music and what music means to me is, it's a way to help people feel less alone. Um, you kind of talk about things in your music that you've experienced. And, when people hear your music, if they've also gone through something similar to that, they feel a little bit more less alone. And not in the way like, oh, your problem isn't as this, it's not as significant as mine, but okay, I'm not the only one who's experienced something like this. I'm not the only person who will have to experience this. It kind of lets people come together and realize that you're not doing what you're doing alone and that there is some sort of way out of it and that you can better yourself.
Right. I guess I can relate to that on kind of like a surface level when I'm streaming and stuff, because when I'm like when I'm live or recording videos, I'm just there to have a good time, and I'm trying to make and when I'm there to entertain people, I'm there to make people's day.
Exactly. Exactly. Like this doesn't really tie into music, but I've worked in jobs where I'm not very happy with what I'm doing because it's not necessarily creating a positive outcome. But I've also had jobs as a cook where I was very happy doing that because I knew I was about to serve a dish that somebody would enjoy and that, they might remember that dish and they'll be like, oh, that was so good. That was a really good meal. My money was well spent. Is that kind of like the same thing as like streaming? Like you're making somebody's day. Like you realize like, oh, I made somebody's day
Right.
by my actions.
Right. So like a dish you serve, you're working at a restaurant and somebody you give someone food, maybe they're having a bad day and then there's good food and then they feel better.
Yeah, man, food makes everybody's day, no matter what you eat.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, no, there have been jobs where I'm not happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I see hobbies as a way to do that, you know.
what to make people happy.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
for me it's like work's work and it's nice if it helps someone. But then like if I have a hobby that I can do to make people's day like streaming, it it's just all the better. That with community service, same thing.
oh yeah, because you're doing something that you enjoy. Like if you're working at a job you're not very happy with, I mean, your customer might get satisfaction, but are you getting satisfaction? It's kind of like what a parasitic relationship where one benefits while the other one suffers, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like work at this point is the only thing that I'm settling with. So that's like the thing that well, I haven't really gotten fully employed though yet. I am applying at a job, but it's not done yet. So I don't really know if I'm going to like this job or not. But I can see
What?
that it's just like a basic like grocery job.
Oh, are you
So
gonna be a cashier?
I think it's like a service person, so like pushing carts,
Okay,
yeah, just
very cool.
cleaning up after people. So it's probably not so much going to make people stay, but but it pays the bills.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like that's where I'm at right now. It's like I'm not very happy with what I'm doing, but I need the money. That you know, I saw that we have this outline here, and I'm looking at the being a young artist. It My job doesn't make me happy, but the money's good, and I think that kind of ties into being a young artist is trying to have enough money to pay for these studio sessions.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I was always curious as to, because there's not really a quiet place in my house to record. Like right now, I brought a laptop up to my room because I don't need visual to record the podcast, and this is like the only quiet place in
yeah,
my
for sure.
house. So I was wondering, oh, how much does a studio cost? And I don't know if they'll have the equipment I need. Also, I'm not moving my machine to a studio every time I want to record something.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so the thing with the studio is he already has like everything there that I would need. He has a microphone, he has a booth with paneling, he has, the computer with all the different necessities in order to mix, master, and create music. So, I have enough room in my setup here to record music. It's just it would be much cheaper to just go to a studio where that's all set up rather than buying all the plugins. And a
Right.
plugin is just like let's say I wanted a reverb plugin to add reverb to my vocals.
Oh,
You know, I,
like those audio
yeah,
stacks that,
yeah,
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 that
yeah,
with all the plugs. Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen those. A lot of the people that make the entertainment industry their career has those, and they're like little
Hmm.
stacks on their desks where they have all the things to
Yeah, and those
make their
those are
audio sound great.
analog. Those are analog plugins. And they're either less expensive or more expensive or just as expensive as a digital plugin, and I yeah, I don't have the money for that, so I just go to the studio. I pay about $40 an hour, so what I try to do is I go for about 8 hours. I try to get as many hours in a session as I can because as it's with anything, the more you buy, the cheaper the cost.
Right.
So I said I pay 40 an hour, but if I go for 8 hours, he might cut me a deal and say, all right, well, instead of paying 320 for 8 hours, I'll only make you pay 270 or 280 because
Right.
you're spending more time, more money. And he understands. He was my guitar teacher back in the day. He understands that, I'm still in high school.
Right.
I don't,
He understands that you're not really you don't really have the money to do big recordings and
yeah,
all that.
exactly. Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
good to have someone like that.
Yeah, that's it's very appreciative, especially in the music industry. Someone who is nice and willing to make accommodations for you.
Yeah, because this industry is all connections. If
Mhm.
you don't have them, you
Yeah.
can't really yeah, you're going down a hard road.
Yeah, no one's gonna pick you up unless they actually genuinely care about you. And I think that's why when you do listen to music, especially the type of music I listen to, you do hear a lot of artists saying that they did it on their own, they got it on their own.
Nah,
Essentially, yeah.
no way.
Yeah, well, that's a very common occurrence in the type of music I listen to, is because a lot of these people, are kind of like me. They worked a minimum wage job and they only had so much money to spend. So, and I'm very fortunate to have somebody who will record my music, but a lot of these people did have to go through it on their own and figure out how
Yeah,
to record effectively.
I guess you do kind of start on your own. So, I guess,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess I do have a point. Well, we've been talking too much.
yeah. I want to
Too,
hear from Jerry.
yeah, Jerry's been
Oh
kind of
boy.
quiet.
Oh boy. Imagine if I had input.
Any input is good input.
I disagree, but all right. I'm kind of with Taylor on that. On like I appreciate music. I listen to it fairly frequently, but music isn't really my strong point. I'm more of a visual artist. In that I draw a lot.
Mm.
Is the audio? Okay, the audio's still there. Just making sure.
Yeah, you're
Um,
good.
okay, but yeah. I draw occasionally. I haven't really done any big paintings, but like painting sounds fun. But yeah, I to what you said, Charlie.
And
Okay, so
they got to experience.
I dropped out for a minute.
That's all right. It happens to the best of us, right?
Yeah, the connection died. So we
Mm,
were talking about visual art, right?
right.
Yeah. And I was kind of agreeing with Jerry, but I also added on. I said there's some sort of satisfaction you get, when you show your painting or drawing or sculpture or whatever to anybody, and they're like, okay, that's really cool, and then they like start to interpret it in their own way.
Right.
Right.
You
That
kind of
is a
get a
great
new
feeling.
perspective. Yeah, that you
Yeah.
get like a new perspective, and you're like, oh, I never thought of that. And it's just kind of eye opening. Anything art is so eye opening.
Right. Art inspires people.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
so everyone completed their first week of school.
Oh god.
How was that for everyone?
You want to go first?
Sure.
Alrighty.
Well, for the first week for me, I feel like it was a lot more polished than what they did last year, which was basically give us a bunch of packets, and then
Mm-hmm.
Right.
if you
Mhm.
do the
I
work,
agree.
maybe you'll get a better grade, but only maybe. And if you didn't do the work at all, you would still be fine. And then so now it's like, oh, it's like actual school, but with connection issues.
Yeah, there have been a lot of that.
Yeah,
Well, I
we
mean, even when we were in school, I think we had some connection issues with all the
yeah,
Chromebooks like just going down randomly at like 1 in the afternoon.
Hmm.
yeah, we had to upgrade our internet because we got Chromebooks from the school to run everything on. I don't know why we did that. We have computers, but that's what we had. So so we had to upgrade our network so we could run everything at the same time. So we got these new extenders, which they do cut out sometimes, like what just happened. but but they are a bit stronger signal. And
Jerry, how was? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, so just like my only thought is it's a lot slower to respond for students. So that's like my only issue. It's just it would be a lot easier if we were in person.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I feel like there are some like pros and cons to online schooling.
Right.
I think some of the pros are like on my B days, I start off with guitar too. I've already taken guitar too as a sophomore, um, so I don't really count that as a class because I already passed it. But then I have study hall 2B, and then we have that intervention period, and then the lunch. So my study hall, I don't have anything to do, right? Um, so I think a big benefit is like I can just get up, go downstairs and play Wii, listen to music, eat lunch for like 2 hours, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
I think that's
I'm kind of in a
awesome.
similar situation where I've got student aid 2B, and there's just nothing to do for like 3 hours. It's just a big gap to
Oh yeah,
do
student aid got
whatever.
replaced with a study seminar, and my study
Hmm.
seminar is scheduled back to back to my student aid. So for the first half of the day, I am completely open. I don't have to do a thing.
You're just kind of vibing.
Yeah, and what this means is I can get other stuff done. Like the other
Right.
day, I posted on my story, oh, I'm using all this free time I got to upload a video.
Mhm.
So I did that. I get a lot of editing work done because post production is the longest part. You think it would be recording, but it's not.
I agree with you. And like, I mean, this is kind of related to what you said, but in 5th grade, I made like little movies on the IMAX and stuff, and we still had IMAX. And I started to realize, I mean, this was nothing serious. It's nothing like YouTube,
GarageBand,
right?
just messing around
Yeah,
GarageBand.
GarageBand, iMovie, all that. And I remember like just sitting there trying to like edit, being 10, 11 years old, trying to edit. I'm doing air quotes, edit. Um, and I just noticed that that takes more time and effort than actually sitting there and recording whatever you want to record. So I do salute you that you have the patience to sit there
Yeah,
and edit.
it does take some patience because it to get everything right, you gotta master the audio to be the right decibel, so whenever you upload it, it doesn't cut you.
Mhm.
Because if your audio is too loud, if it gets to like -5 decibel, it
Yeah,
will it will cut
it
your audio.
clips.
Yeah, cut your audio out, and you go whisper quiet, and no one can hear your audio.
Yeah, it's the same thing in music too. You have to master your music because I mean ours is very visual. I don't know what yours looks like. Like I don't know like what program do you use to record audio?
I use OBS, which is video software, but
Okay.
it's basically the same thing. Like it's a very basic editor or
All right.
audio thing.
Yeah, so like I'm sorry I keep tying everything back to music, but like I feel like art has a big place in everything. But so like when I'm making music, like, let's say I make my own beat, I use a software called Ableton, which is a DAW, a digital audio um work thing, like workspace or whatever. Um and there's a little bar, and if it's green in the master track, you're good. If it's green all the way through, you're good. If it's red, it's gonna your audio is clipping, it's too loud. You gotta go back. Your 808, which is your bass, essentially, might be too loud, so you might gotta turn down the velocity on that particular 808 note.
Yeah, so yours seems like a lot more complicated version of what I have. So it's similar, except I have this thing in my editing software I can do in post called a limiter. So
Yeah,
it
I got
take
limiters
so it
too.
takes that audio and it can uh, cut it so it doesn't go up past a certain decibel.
Mm. I'm guessing you also have like compressors too, maybe.
I think I can add compressors digitally. I don't know.
Mm.
I haven't tried that yet. I haven't
Yeah,
tried a lot of audio stuff. I just use the limiter because that's just like perfect for what I'm doing.
yeah. Um, so going back to the first week of school, I had a con the other day in my AP Calc class. Mr. Well, I'm not gonna say his name. That's a little too much. But my AP Calc teacher was using Blackboard Collaborate, as most teachers do, and his audio was terrible. You're taking AP Calculus, and it's so hard to understand what he's saying. So I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, hey, like, is his audio bugging for you too? And he's like, yeah, I can't understand what he's saying. I'm like, all right. So I'm trying to decipher what he's trying to say through looking at the pictures he's writing. So I'm sitting there trying to follow along AP Calculus with no audio. It's hard enough taking
Yeah.
calculus in person, and it's even harder when you can't hear your teacher. Um, so I mean, I think that was my biggest con is some of these teachers aren't tech savvy, and I don't fault them for not being tech savvy. So sometimes you run into these barriers or obstacles, especially again with AP Calc, which is already hard enough, and then you just run into more obstacles where you can't hear your teacher, which is a crucial part of learning AP Calculus.
Yeah. Uh yeah, AP classes, if you're not paying attention or if you can't pay attention in this case, yeah, you're just going to get shut down. You're not going to
Oh
pass.
yeah, yeah, it's a little difficult. Or what were some of your pros and cons, Jerry?
Let's see. This first week, I've personally really enjoyed the online experience. I mean, like you said, there's been issues like internet cutting and stuff like that, or having bad connection. But for when it isn't doing that, I do really like the it's a sort of more laid back approach, if you understand my meaning. Where in school it's like you have to constantly be like, I don't want to say formal because not everyone is, but like if you get what I mean, like there's a certain way you present yourself in school that you don't quite have to do in an online class. It's so I really like that. It's a more easy approach. kind of.
So, so do you think that that is necessary?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah. So when you're so do you think that's like a better approach, like a more casual approach? Like, do you think
I mean,
it's necessary to be formal in school?
well, to some degree, like there's it's just there's a certain way you present yourself, right? Like you have to always like be conscious of what you're doing in class. Like if you say what's uh
Being dressed,
yeah,
essentially
yeah,
being
being
dressed.
dressed, that's a big one. Right. Um um but things like that too. I mean, that's a small thing, but like in terms of like the way you have to talk in school, you have to monitor yourself. You have to make sure you don't like say anything too bad or anything. But in the online class, we're muted. We don't have to say anything, unless you're typing in the chat or if they ask you to unmute. So it's less like you have to consciously choose what you're saying at all times because most of the time you don't have to say anything anymore.
Right.
I enjoy that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more relieving. I mean,
Right.
I
The
don't have
pressure's more off. The pressure's
Mm-hmm.
off.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't it's not like I don't have a lot of social anxiety, but I do have a little social anxiety, especially when it comes to my peers. I feel like if I have a thought, I'm very hesitant to say what I want to say because I have this constant fear that somebody's gonna make fun of me or flip it in a manner that I don't deem acceptable. And when it comes to online, I can kind of think about what I want to say beforehand. Because I feel like a lot of people in online school are the opposite of me. Um, when they're in online school, they're afraid to type into chat. But when they're in regular school, they're more than willing to say what they want to say. Whereas if I'm in class, I'm hesitant on what I want to say. But in chat, I at least have a second to think about what I want to say, and then I'll say it. And if somebody doesn't like what I say or thinks what I said is stupid, whatever.
Right. See, like for me, I think I get a little anxious when I'm in like math class, like you were saying, AP Calc. I have AP Stat,
Mm,
so I get a little self-conscious if I have an answer that I'm not sure about. But now I can just type it into chat and it's away, and I don't really have to worry about it because it's also in a like a sea of answers,
Right.
yeah, exactly,
and the
exactly.
teacher's just gonna look at the majority and go, "Oh, you're right." So I I feel like I can learn better minus the because you have a little less anxiety because you're typing in a chat box instead of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually had a pretty epic cringe moment the first
Ooh.
day of school.
Oh, we
Uh
love to hear those.
yeah, exactly. We love to hear about everybody's unfortunate scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in my again I'm on it seems all my problems stem from my AP Calc class. Um so my AP Calc class is 2A. I just came in from senior option because senior option is what I wanted. I'm in my 2A class, and my teacher likes to call roll, and you unmute your mic and you say here. Now, when he got to my name, I unmuted my mic and I said here, but he couldn't hear me. And I eventually realized why that was. It's because I have this thing called a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, which is essentially a direct input device for guitar or any analog instrument. So if I wanted to, take my guitar, plug it into my guitar, and then plug it straight into this little box, it runs into my computer and it picks up the audio. So what I realized was I had my headphones connected to that device, and I only had them in the I can only hear setting, whereas I didn't have my headphones plugged into my computer where I was able to hear and speak. So I unmute my mic and I say here, and he says my name again, and I said here. I talked a little bit louder. He said all right. So I just typed in the chat box, I'm here. And I had like 3 people text me saying, bruh, say here. And I was like, I can't. So that was pretty cringy. I was the only
Ooh.
person that didn't say here.
Oh, that is
And so
unfortunate.
yeah,
See,
but it is what it is.
see, with my headset, I can flip my microphone up and down. So when it's flipped up, it mutes, and when it flips down, you can speak. So
Fancy.
whenever I have to talk in class, I have to both hit the unmute button and flip my mic down, and sometimes I forget one or the other. So that I kind of have a similar experience, but it's like a really short duration where I have to figure out which thing I forgot to do.
Kind of like what you were
Very.
saying, Charlie, about the teacher calling roll. I also have a teacher that likes us to unmute and call roll, and it wasn't the same problem of not realizing you're muted. It was connection errors for a lot of people. So it was like, he would call someone's name, and then they would like say, and it would just cut.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly like that.
He cut out.
Um, well, I'll elaborate on what he said. Yeah, I mean, I've realized and like I said, some teachers aren't tech savvy, so they don't put two and two together that when they hear a little noise after somebody's like had their name called,
Mm-hmm.
they don't put two and two together that that was them saying here and there was a connection error. So I've noticed that some teachers are like,
Yeah, they won't
okay,
figure
I
out
guess they're
that.
not here.
Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
won't figure out that you're having issues.
Yeah,
That
and then
run.
they never realize they're having their own issues either.
Right,
Yeah,
because if you notice on the system we use, you can check your internet connection,
right. How much
how good it
loss?
is, and I don't think a lot of teachers check that often enough, because sometimes they'll be like, "What's wrong?" I'll check. I'll be like, "Oh, you got like really bad connection right now,"
You have like
but
two. You're transferring like 2 megabits per second.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah. You can kind of see like a stack, and it's like one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I look at that and I go, well, this is gonna be a fun class when I'm looking through and everything's either yellow or red.
Mhm.
And then you have to go back and look at the pictures if they even made
Mhm.
pictures or slides or
Or
whatever.
if they remember to record the session.
Oh yeah. I'm honestly not a fan of that. I don't like teachers recording the session. I feel like um it kind of limits expression. Some people have um well not have, but they're okay with the session being recorded and I understand that. But personally I don't like a session being recorded. I feel like you have to think more like a scholar or you have to think more academically because
Right,
I,
because whatever you say is there
Is out there
forever.
forever, right?
Yeah.
exactly. And like if you say something stupid, like if like a teacher says, um,
What's 2 plus 2 and you go 7?
yeah, like, or like type banana, but like it autocorrects like to banana. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of sessions being recorded. It's just not my thing.
The one
I'm not
advan
saying
the one
I'm
advantage of
not.
that is you can go back.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You can go back and watch it. Um, but like I'm not gonna sit here and it's not like I'm typing like vulgar things into chat. I'm not
Right.
doing that. I don't like the sense of being overlooked. It's like when I'm at school and a principal comes in to just monitor a class.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to watch everything I do. Like if I'm playing with a rubber band in my hands, because I started to do that. I just play with a rubber band in my hands. I would feel very awkward if the principal came up to me and said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I don't like being monitored like that. Not that I'm
Yeah.
doing anything bad. I
Pressure's
just don't
on
like
again.
being monitored. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of things with school is just applying pressure.
I feel like
That's
that's all
like,
school is.
yeah, just the major problem is just like education with pressure.
I
And,
think that's like. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
yeah, I'm just saying it's the same thing with tests. Like
Oh yeah.
tests are super high pressure.
Um, that kind of shifts into a next topic. It's just the education system in America. I've started to learn, like I started to realize this as time has went on. um, school is more or less about learning, and it's more about passing and getting an A on your test or a B on your test, and being the best in your class. What happened to school just being about learning and actually absorbing information and useful information?
I don't think it ever was like that.
Well, exactly. Well, I feel like at some point in time it was about learning. Maybe when Confucius was around, it was about learning. Not necessarily learning math or science or English, well, not English, but literary elements. It was more about learning about life and how to be calm and be a good person. And now I just feel like it's all indoctrination. I feel like it's all about passing. It's not about actually learning. It wasn't until this year when I became a senior that I was offered a class learning how to deal with personal finance.
Right.
We never had that option in middle school. It was always your four core classes, English, math, science, and social studies, and then two electives, whether it be gym and or health, and then computer science or whatever. It wasn't until we got to late high school that we were offered life.
Yeah. Life
And
Okay, we
advice.
here now?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Alrighty. Hey.
So,
yeah, we're talking about how like school isn't necessarily about learning, and it's more about passing.
Right. I definitely agree with that.
I mean, a lot like the education system is basically founded on this foundation where it's about like they needed to educate people for factory work. That's basically what it was.
Oh yeah,
Right. Mhm.
exactly,
So
exactly.
so we're off this really old system,
Right.
and it
It's
kind of
outdated.
it just needs some change. We need to
No,
learn.
and
Uh,
sorry, your audio keeps coming out, and I feel like you're done, but you're not. I'm sorry.
yeah, I what I was saying was yeah, that's kind of my thing. I talk real slow, so when I'm like thinking of something, I'll uh I'll kind of stop, and then people talk over me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. That's my
yeah, it's
bad.
fine. Uh, so what they need to do is just put life skills in. Put a life skills course in that
Mhm.
everyone can access, and not at the high school level. You put it at like the middle school level, and then you have like an introductory like course in elementary school. Like you need like a life skills course. I mean, I guess we kind of have that with health class, but that's more about
Yeah, that's
not doing drugs or whatever.
mhm.
And not doing the naughty.
Yeah.
Right.
But and I feel like that this may be contrary to your beliefs or somebody else's beliefs, but I feel like I feel like the school system is trying to like make kids avoid doing that, where it's bound to happen at some point.
Right.
How can you be best prepared when that situation arises?
Right. They
How
should
can you
Yeah.
avoid
yeah.
big mistakes?
Yeah, that's what
Right.
it should be.
Not just don't do this because you tell someone not to do it. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go and do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder
Mhm.
what happens if I do this. And it's the
Right.
same. It's the same thing with drugs. Um, you see all these people around our area, in more of
Mhm.
the low income areas who weren't really taught this stuff.
Mhm.
They were told the same things as we were. They were around when Nancy Reagan was around saying, "Oh, just say no."
Right.
Well, not everybody is just gonna say no. Everybody has their different approach to it. And you see these people who are now addicted to heroin.
Right.
So that
That's
just
a
goes to
that's a
show
big thing now.
that wasn't effective. Just say no was not effective. The DARE
Right.
program isn't effective.
Right. That's basically just say no, but like in a nice
Mhm.
tiger
Yeah,
shaped package.
exactly. It's more colorful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I noticed I noticed, we do, kinda have an introduction to cooking in 8th gr I think it was 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, something like that. I remember in our health class, we had to make
Mhm.
something, but it was a healthy food.
Right.
So
Right.
my question that arises when I think about that is, why did they take away home ec? Why aren't we being taught, how to sew or, the
Hmm.
little stuff
Right.
with
Right.
little home problems? You need to
Hmm.
know how to sew, you need to know how to make a chicken where instead of eating ramen every day for
Right.
4 years while you're in college and, taking in all that sodium, teach
Yeah.
us how to make, healthy, enjoyable food.
Yeah.
Teach us how to
Teach us how to
sew.
make stuff on a budget, because we're going to need it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Um, that's why I'm thankful to have taken this business class because the teacher is willing to show us, how to be successful in an interview, what things to say, what things not to say, to make sure you have a higher chance of getting said job.
Yeah. I was happy to hear that, but also I'm happy for my experience in the scouts, because the scouts kind of prepared me for that. Every time we went for a rank advancement, we had to do an interview. So I had to learn how to do that to get the rank advancement, and I had to learn how to properly lead people so I could get projects done, especially my Eagle Scout project, because that's a massive project. I had to raise what I think it was $1,500, a little bit over that. Um,
Mhm. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
yeah, I had to raise money. I had to construct something, so you need a lot of hands for that. You need good leadership and dedication, because by the time we finished, it was the middle of winter. We were shoveling snow off the project to finish it.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you said that you need good leadership, and I feel like school does not teach you how to be a leader. I feel like leadership is kind of inherent. Yeah, I feel like leadership is kind of it's nowadays it comes down to, are you born a leader or are you born a follower? And I feel like
Right,
school just puts you in the position of a follower constantly. That these figures of authority are the leaders, and you're supposed to listen to these authority. Now, I'm not saying rebel against authority. I'm not saying rebel against cops. I'm not saying rebel against your government. Now, there are some instances where you may have to rebel against your government, but
Right.
that's neither here nor there. But I feel like they're putting us in the position where listen to what the older person tells you, and
right.
that's not always the case.
Hmm.
This older person might be telling you, "Oh, no,
One
I'm not
second, I'm
stating."
getting a call.
All right, well, I'll tell you, Jerry.
Alrighty.
I'm not going to state my political beliefs, but let's
Mhm.
just say you have a teacher who's a Democrat. They're going to tell you, "Oh, the conservatives are so bad. They're killing innocent people at the border. They're doing all this bad stuff. You can't be for them." But in reality, maybe the conservatives are the ones helping people.
Right.
Why listen and be brainwashed?
Yeah. Why blindly follow what you can't
Exactly.
prove? Right.
Exactly. And I mean, I may be totally wrong. It might be the other way around. The conservative might tell
Hmm.
you, "Oh, the Democrats are so bad. They're killing people. They're doing all this." But really, the Democrats might be the opposite. They're going to be the ones really helping people. And I feel like that's a big problem in today's society. People just blindly follow, like you said,
Yeah.
they just blindly follow what they're told.
Hmm.
And I feel like school plays a big part of that. You're told to do something by somebody, and you do it. Somebody
Right.
who's older than you do it.
Yeah. They don't
Or
teach you to think how to discern what is true or what should be believed. They just teach you this.
yeah,
Yeah, so basically,
Oh well.
from what I'm hearing, uh,
Huh?
not stopping short of rebelling against authority, you should always be skeptical of what's going on.
yeah, exactly. Make note of what they're saying,
Right.
and if there's any way to conduct research on what they're saying, conduct said research if it's that important,
Right.
and form your own opinions.
Yep.
So, I have a question. What is your relationship deal breakers? That
Ooh.
being things that just end relationships. You
What
can't,
type of relationship?
uh, either way, friendship or romantic.
Okay. I mean, when it comes to a friendship, I just want them to be somebody I can trust, like somebody I can like go to if I have a problem, and they'll actually put their best foot forward and try and help me out with that problem. And I'll do the same thing for them. Uh, I want to be able to hang out with them. I don't want like some awkward friendship. I want to actually be able to like hang out with them and like have similar interests. And I mean, when it comes to romantic relationships, it's the same thing. I want to enjoy the same things they enjoy. But I dive a little bit more deeper when it comes to a romantic relationship because I mean, I've gone through a few different ones and I've really narrowed down what I want. And I've come to the conclusion I really just want somebody who's going to love me for me. They're not going to love me just because, I might be a star or um, they say they love me just because I have friends that they wanna be friends with, you know what I mean? I want them to actually
Hmm.
love me for me. I want them to love my flaws, I want them to love my imperfections or my perfections. A genuine, sincere love.
Right. It's good to know what you want, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of going down that road. I'm kind of thinking, this is my first relationship, the one I'm in right now. Like a
How's that
real,
going?
like a real relationship. It's going good. We do have similarities, and I do think we have a really good uh relationship. We love each other really, which is
That's
good.
good.
Uh, and what you were saying, you know what you want. I don't know if I know that yet because you're like this is my first like real relationship. I really don't know. And I talked to her about that, and she understands. Um,
That's good there.
so
That's
yeah,
good there that she understands.
yeah. I was like, I don't really know what I want, and she goes, okay, well, that's good to know, and we'll continue working through this together, and maybe I will figure out what I want. And if it comes out that that's not what I want, then you know
You move on.
I move on. But right now, I think I know what I want, but not quite not quite there yet. Uh, Emotional stuff is kind of like not really my
Hmm.
forte.
Oh,
Jer-
trust me, I'm the master of emotional.
yeah, Jerry knows this. I said something and he's like, "That's like the first time you really like opened up."
In the entire time I've known you, pretty
Yeah, and
much.
we known each other for like 6 years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, you should
Um.
you should be open about your feelings.
Hmm.
It's not good to suppress them.
Right.
all right. So Jerry, deal breakers.
So yeah. Deal break. Uh. I don't really have too many because like I don't really care too much about certain things. Like, I mean, it depends on the level of friendship too. Like, are we talking like someone like you talk to, like someone's just like an acquaintance, kind of like a friend at school maybe, or you mean like someone you hang out with all the time, like your best buds, like always going to be there for each other kind of thing. Like the deal breakers between the two, they're different because on one there's more you can tolerate, and on the other it's just like this is a person you're going to like their your life is going to be kind of tied to theirs.
Yeah. So it's like you can tolerate some stuff from an acquaintance that you can't. Oh, he he dropped he dropped out.
Oh dear. I know what he means though.
Yeah.
Like you're a little bit more particular about like your best friends, whereas if it's just somebody you talk to, you're gonna be a little bit less picky about their personality and all that other stuff.
Yeah, you can tolerate more stuff
Hmm.
with an acquaintance that you
Right.
can with a friend.
Well, kind of like if it's someone you don't talk to that often, like a friend you're not super close with, then you don't interact with them much. So maybe there are things that would be deal breakers for a close friend. You don't notice them as much with someone you don't talk to that often. So like certain things like that are more permissible, I guess. But if
Right.
it's someone you're constantly talking to and they have that same thing and it's constantly there, then that might be more of a deal breaker in that situation than in another one.
You put that perfectly. I agree 100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
Well, true friends stab you in the front.
Yeah.
True friends make sure you know that it was them that stabbed you.
Yeah. Because maybe they really, I don't know. Sorry, I was stretching.
You're good.
Oh,
You're good.
ow.
All right. So who's next?
I'll flip a coin.
I'll take tails.
All right. I'll take heads. Let me actually find a coin. Give me a moment.
I got you.
You got us. Okay.
Yeah. Got this quarter right here.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tails.
Tails.
Cool.
Tails wins.
All right. Life after death. What do y'all think happens when you die?
Ooh, this is an interesting topic. I like it. I personally don't know. I'm just gonna say I straight up don't know. I don't want to make guesses about things I couldn't possibly know. Um, like we don't know. Is the main thing. Like people, sure they have near death experiences and say they saw a light at the end of a tunnel or something like that, but we can't prove what's at the end. Um, it's something you'll figure out when you.
Yeah. I like that he said that people like their life flash before their eyes, and
Yeah. They see all this
it's like
stuff.
I've looked into that, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think what happens is it's in these near death experiences is your pineal gland produces DMT. DMT is a very psychoactive drug. Joe Rogan talked about it in his podcast. It's people who do it as a drug um get
Similar hallucinations.
yeah, it's very similar because DMT is naturally produced in the pineal gland at a very, very low amount. But there is a way to get it from plants that produce it, and then people use it as drugs. And people have they come out of what they call a trip, and they say, "Oh, my mind is just open. My third eye has been opened." And I think that's what happens when you die to make death a little bit more comfortable. Is the brain releases this overwhelming sense of comfort, which is the DMT, is comfort, and are relaxed while you're dying. And I think that's why people, when they pass away from natural causes, like they just die of old age,
It's very calm.
Right.
they it's very calm because they're essentially their body knows it's shutting down, so it's releasing all this DMT to make it more comfortable and not so painful and hard on all the organs that are shutting down.
Right.
So my thing about life after death is energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Um, and there was a study that a scientist conducted. I forget. I think it was 2008. I might be wrong, but I'm not sure. And when this person died, about like 2, 3 grams of his body weight was lost, and this was before his bowels and bladder let go, relax, and were done contracting. This was before that, so it wasn't that. But some
Well,
of his bot
what about like oxygen, like the last breath type of thing?
Well, I believe there's still oxygen, like, in your body, and it's still in your lungs,
Yeah, of
when you
course.
take your last breath. But this small amount of weight was depleted when he was officially ruled dead, when his, line went flat. And I think that's the soul leaving the body, and I feel like there's a spiritual realm. It's not heaven, it's not hell, it's not purgatory, it's none of this Christian stuff. I feel like it's an astronomical realm that you go to when your spirit has disconnected from your mortal body. That's how I see it, and you kinda just roam space, the universe.
Mm. Well, you see, like that's like an interesting thing to me. Like for me, I am a Christian.
And I
I
I'm not trying to disrespect you by saying
right,
that. I
of
wasn't
course.
trying to, like, disrespect you. I respect you,
Yeah, naturally.
100.
But like for me, life after death, like I that's what makes the most sense to me, not the reincarnation stuff. Like I feel like that makes the most sense in the list of established religions. I feel like that one makes the most sense. And of course, I'm thinking about like there's this book here. Maybe not every single word in it, since it's like that hundreds of thousands of years old, whatever, like
Mhm.
like millennia old.
And it was also, translated from many different languages.
Right. So there could be translation errors and such.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So like maybe not everything in that book is true, but I feel like in the list of established religions, that one makes more like the most sense to me. Maybe that's just because I grew up with it. I don't know, but makes more sense than the other ones, and I feel like with how many established religions there are, I think that someone has to have it right.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, whether it do be from a religious standpoint or, like, one of mine, like, where I said it's just spiritual, like, scientific, I feel like you're right. Somebody has to be right. There has to be at least one person out of the 7 billion of us
That
that
are
is
right,
right.
yeah.
Exactly.
Because the odds of not being right are just
Impro. Let's
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Wow, that was a hard question to follow, but let's see. What was my question? Um, all right. I have a question. Have you ever been compared to one of your favorite fictional characters? And if so, how did you react to it?
Related to a fictional character. Hmm.
Or compared to? Like, has someone ever been like, "Hey, you remind me of that character," and it's
Haven't
like
you done
a
that?
character you really like?
I feel
I
like you said that to me.
I might have. It was a topic that came up this week for me, so I was just like, you know what? I need a question for this week. I'll throw that one in.
See, I'm thinking, and I'll, I'll say I sometimes I get related to people that are like I'll say that like, oh, I do this,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and people go, oh, so you're like that guy. And I'm like, yeah, sure, just to because that's funny. so
I've
so
never
some so sometimes something like that happens.
I've never been compared to a fictional character. As odd as that may sound, I don't think I've ever been compared to a fictional character. But I mean, people say um, like my English teacher said, I sent him some of my music, and he was like, "Oh, it kind of sounds like Post Malone." I've had other people say, "Oh, that sounds like Lil Peep." I've had one person say I sound like this artist named So What I'm Dead. I don't know who that is, but
Yeah, so you've
nah,
been
somebody.
related to like musical artists, and some of them
Yeah,
are like super famous, so it's almost like they're fictional.
yeah, and then so how did I react to that? I mean, that made me happy. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Thank you. If you think I'm as good as somebody who's very, very famous, That makes me
Right.
feel good about myself, so thank you very much. But no, I don't think I've ever been compared to a fictional character, and if I did, it was probably, you know oh, no, 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 okay, I'm wrong, I'm so wrong. When I was in middle school, I had, a very interesting haircut.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Okay.
know if either of you remember
I
however
don't
my
think I
I
hair
do.
vaguely remember. Vaguely.
Yeah, I would have all my hair flat, but then there'd be one piece in the very front that would stick
Oh.
up like a spike.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Oh
remember
god.
that.
And I remember wearing it, like, 2 weeks into my freshman year of high school, and I saw everybody else, and no one else had that haircut, and I was like, "Alright, this needs to change."
Need to fix
Um,
that.
so yeah, when when I had that haircut, I was kinda compared to Jimmy Neutron, and, yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna be like, "No, I don't. No, I don't." I mean, how could I deny that? I mean, I kinda did. I have a big forehead, I have a spike in my hair. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, I guess I do. And I didn't take it negatively, I didn't take it positively, I just said, "Yep, thank you." But, I think that's probably the only event where I was compared to a fictional character.
Yeah, that is the that's the best way to take someone. Something like that. People are like, "Oh, Jimmy Neutron looking," and you're just like, "Yeah, thanks."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment because he kinda just called me a boy genius, but also, I mean, I know I look stupid. I can't believe that I mean, I can't believe I wore that haircut, but I did. I did.
All right, so I got one user submitted question, and then I gotta go.
Alrighty.
We're doing some gardening stuff outside.
Very cool,
So
very cool.
this one it's just one question, and it's for you, Charlie. The question is, when is the music vid, and can I help with it? There's no username attached to this, but I have an inkling on who this is.
Your inkling, who do you think it is?
I think it's what's his name? Which I will censor because I probably shouldn't say that over the air, where it's on the
Yeah.
internet and publicly
Mhm.
available.
Um, this ties into being a young artist. Like I said, I don't have a lot of money. Because I do have some bills to pay. Considering I do have a job, my parents, they say, "All right, you gotta pay some bills." I'm like, "Okay, that's fair. You let me live at your house for free. I'll pay some bills." So I'm not really sure. I do definitely want to make a music video. Um, I do have a song in mind. It's one of the songs I have out right now, "Lost." I have a vision for the music video. I kind of see it as me kind of just in the nighttime out on the streets. Um, and so right now, I have no idea when that's gonna happen. I have a guy I'm in contact with that does music videos. I met him through the guy that does mix, master, record my vocals. That's how I met him. And so I do have somebody in mind to shoot it. I have a vision for it. The biggest obstacle is having the money to shoot and
Right,
having the time. I'm in school 5 days a week. I work 4 or 5 days a week. Like 3 days during the week, and then I work weekends.
right.
Right after school on weekdays, I go straight to work. I don't have a lot of time. I wish I had the money right now to do it because this weekend would have been a great time to do it, considering we have like a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, and and weather's holding up too. That would have been a
Yeah,
great day to shoot.
yeah, but I mean, part of the vision is also kind of like a snowy
Okay,
because
so something
winter
like
is
winter.
yeah, winter is it kind of fits my vibe. I love winter. Winter is my favorite season. Um, it's a gloomy, depressing, but I feel like there's also a depressing beauty in
Yeah,
winter.
yeah. There's like a beauty
Mhm.
in it.
Yeah, like the gray sky with the contrast of the white snow. Or not necessarily the contrast. I don't know, but there is a beauty to the winter. The darkness is beautiful.
And also,
Um,
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
that Lost is the song where it's like the lyric, Heart So Cold and It's Frozen Like the Snow, so that will fit pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. That's for sure. I mean, there's a lot of lyrics in there that, really tie in well with a depressing atmosphere. Like I say, everywhere I go, I get stabbed in the back. I say, just the hook. I got these problems you wouldn't know. I got these problems, never let it show.
Right.
Um, and I kind of see it as a 2-day shoot. I see the part where I'm out on the street just walking around with all the snow there, and then I also see the part where I'm just driving around, like, or doing something. I'm not really sure, but I do definitely
Yeah.
want to be like somewhere in Haverty Grace.
Haverty
Um,
Grace is a great town. I go.
yeah,
I mean, to shoot in, like it's visually appealing.
yeah, that's where if you if you notice, because I know you did the cover art, which thank you again for
Yeah.
doing that. It's really
Yeah,
good
I've
cover
been
art.
to that park lots of times.
Yeah, yeah. So we shot the album cover there, and then just a few more of the other just Charlie Baby pictures. If I ever want to use one as a song cover, which I did. And if anybody just wants to see what I look like, they're professional photography. And shout out to Zach Osborne for taking those photos. He did an amazing job taking those photos. He's a great
Yeah.
photographer. He's a very
when
great
when I put it
photographer.
in my editing software, it kind of compresses it so it's a little bit more grainy, which I was disappointed. I was like, the photo looks so good.
Yeah. I mean, if you're also interested, if I mean, this is a great time to do a little sneak peek if you wanna throw in the picture. Yeah, if you wanna throw in the picture, the album cover picture, so everybody can see, like, what the album picture looks like. I don't know if you're able to do that, but
Yeah,
if you wanna throw this in
yeah,
there,
I can just throw that up.
so anybody that watches this podcast, they get to see, what the album cover looks like. They'll get a little sneak peek.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that if you send that to me.
Alright, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, and also I'll put a link to your SoundCloud.
Thank you. I don't know if you're willing or you're able to, put a little snippet of an upcoming song I have.
Oh yeah, I can do all that. I'll do that I'll put all that on the probably the end card or something like that.
Alright, that sounds good. I'm gonna work on sharing that with you right now.
All right. Well, this has been fun, but I was supposed to go like 5 minutes ago, so or 10.
Actually,
Make that 10.
it's perfect 'cause I'm about to get ready to go to work.
All right.
So,
Well, listen to Charlie's music. It's great, and he has an
thank
album
you.
out soon. Uh, yeah. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
I'll get that for you
Thank
in a
you.
minute. So, do all that YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, unless you're on Spotify, because I have that now. Uh, yeah. So at the end card of this video, you'll hear a snippet of one of his new songs, and it, I'm sure it's good,
Thank you.
because I haven't heard it yet. I would like to thank you all for coming, for joining me.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all later, because I gotta run.
Charlie, baby.
Lay me down easy while I close my eyes. Lay me down, baby, no, it's not my time. She just wanted drugs while she bump another line. I'ma fly away 'cause I'm dead inside. This is the day I end my life. This is the day I close my eyes. Tell my mama that I love her while she started to cry. Ma, I'll be fine. Ma, I'll be alright. Lay me down easy while I close my